morning, y'all. I'm checking in a little late, so I may do a part 1 and 2 of this video. But yeah, I had something on my mind. I saw and heard about Dwight Howard's son doing a TikTok or video or something, whatever, and basically, expressing his feelings about his dad not being there for him. And unfortunately, a lot of our children go through that hell. A lot of us went through it, and my question first to the men is, why? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to put effort into your children? And I'm not even talking money. I'm talking time. Call them. How you doing? How's your day? We all have busy lives. I understand that, but just to make that kid feel better. I can't say that I grew up in a single parent home because my stepdad was there. He raised me. But knowing my dad was, important to me. And my dad was in and out of prison my whole life. Okay, my whole youth. And when I did get to see him, man, I was ecstatic. Oh my goodness. But I didn't understand, whatever issues my parents had with each other. I don't recall them fighting or anything, nothing like that. I do recall when I was 8, my dad came down. He lived in Sunnydale, and we lived in Geneva Towers in San Francisco, so a couple blocks. And he came down, and I think it was my birthday. Oh, goodness. There we go. Y'all can see me. That's the bad thing about being in the car. I think it was my birthday, my 8th birthday, and he came down and he brought me $20. He wasn't there very long, maybe 10, 15 minutes, not long at all. But I remember my mom and my stepdad having an argument after this. And as a kid, I'm thinking, why you don't like my daddy? He wasn't here for her. He was here for me. He gave me some money, as an 8-year-old kid. Oh, you okay? Oh, sorry, this man ran into the building and he just sitting there all banged up. Okay, sorry, y'all. So anyway, I was kind of mad at my stepdad for a long time, which was probably like a week because I was 8. But, you know, there were times where I would go to my dad's and he would come get me and take me to his house, which had my 4 other siblings in it. So I would spend, you know, some weekends with them, and so it was I thought, you know, my daddy loved me, he'd come get me. Until later, me finding out that it wasn't necessarily him, it was my stepmom. Go get Lavette. Go get Lavette. Bring Latrice, who's my sister, my oldest sister, who's 3 years older than me, and my cousins. So it would be a gang of us at her house. Mind you, she had 4 kids of her own. And those were some of my fondest memories when it comes to my dad. Even though he was in the room playing with my brothers and, you know, my sister, the cousins and stuff. So to me, I got to spend a nice amount of time with my dad. What I didn't know at that young age was the support of my stepmom and the poking, go get her. Go get her. Now, mind you, with 6 kids of her own total, I've always been her baby. I've always been a part of her life. Even when her and my dad split, I still, oh God, am I getting emotional? Oh, wow. I talked to her yesterday, actually. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday? Yeah. Anyway, and she texted me last night. So, even with all that, you know, she told me the best thing behind a man with kids is his woman. I took that. I embraced it. I made it my own. So any man that I've been with that had kids, I did my best to be that supportive woman, because I know how it felt to want the love of your father, who was barely there. And as kids, we truly don't understand why our parents have the issues that they have, or, you know, what the case may be. But we're the ones affected. I think when you choose to be a parent, and a lot of times we don't wake up and say, oh, I'm gonna be a parent today. I feel if you were able to do the grown-up thing and make that child, y'all need to be able to do the grown-up thing and discuss, how are we going to move forward? You know, how are we going to co-parent? Sometimes you look at your situation and you say, well, you know, for instance, myself, I have 2 biological children who I knew their daddy he had no job. I knew he wasn't financially stable, so I made sure I had everything I needed. That's probably the anxiety and the perfectionism. I am a perfectionist, which is a mental health issue. I worry, you know, okay, I need to buy enough diapers to make sure I last from paycheck to paycheck. I need to buy enough milk to make sure I last from paycheck to paycheck. So some people would say, oh, lightweight hoarding, mental illness. But I made sure that I did not have to depend on that other person. For me, not for him, for me. And 2, I don't like rejection. So I don't like to ask people for stuff. Because there's that 50-50 chance that they'll say no. And I feel that that's somewhat of control on their part over me. You want something that I have, and because I'm angry or because I just want to be an asshole, I'm going to tell you no. So with that said, I think when you decide to have kids with somebody, y'all need to talk. I know it's a lot that goes on. I'm not saying that my pregnancy and raising my kids was easy, because it was not. There were, you know, it was a lot. We'll get into that another day. But today, I can honestly say, because of what my stepmom instilled in me, I make sure, being a woman behind a man with kids, that they're incorporated. We do stuff, you know, together. I support his bond with his child. My kids have a total of 8 siblings. I think 6 or 7 mothers. One we've never met, but for the most part, all of my kids' older siblings, except for the very oldest who we never met, we try and work together to make sure that the kids have a relationship. So I can honestly say my kids have a relationship with all but the younger ones. They just actually saw their the younger brother under my daughter recently at my oldest stepdaughter's gender reveal, and it was beautiful. And they all look alike. And for them to be able to have a relationship with each other because they're missing that relationship with their father is a blessing. But I will say this before I go, and there will be a part 2 because I got to go to work. But my kid's father and I did get married, and we had issues, and we ended up in court at one point, and I was actually trying to get a restraining order and get him out of my house. And the judge told me, watch who you pick up in the grocery store. And I'm like, I didn't meet him in no grocery store. But the point being, the person that you choose to sleep with, have kids with, have a relationship with, these are bonds that are formed. So I have to be somewhat attached to that person for the rest of my life because we have something in common. Now, there are, situations where that person's gone. You don't really deal with that person or see that person. But there's still a bond. There's still memories. You still have this beautiful baby child that sometimes when you look at them, you're like, damn, you kind of looking like your daddy right now. But with that being said, I'm gonna go to work. I will tap back in on this subject because I think it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. It's too many. And we need to teach our kids how to be in relationships, how to, if they're in that situation, how to deal, how to conduct their business. So with that said, I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to go in here and get this money, and I'll see you soon.